All right, going into 1.3, this is on algebraic expressions. Your objective for this lesson is to be able to evaluate algebraic expressions and to simplify algebraic expressions. And there is a difference between evaluate and simplify. You need to be able to tell the difference. All right, example 1. You're going to change words to algebraic expressions, and this can be a lot harder than you think it can be. It can also be very simple. Like, to start with, we have 7 fewer than a number t. So if you ever have fewer than or less than, that tells you that you're going to do subtraction, but you're going to do it backwards than they tell you. So 7 fewer than t is actually going to be t minus 7. All right, 2 times the sum of a and b. Sum tells you to add, and then we're going to do 2 times the sum. So whenever you have the in the middle of an algebraic expression, that's going to tell you that that's going to be separated. So first you're going to do the sum of a and b, and then you're going to do 2 times the whole thing. So you're going to do 2 parentheses a plus b. Okay, you start with $20 and save $6 each week. What algebraic expression models the total amount you save? See, I put your. Typos are just prevalent in these videos. All right, so I've got what I start with plus amount saved times the number of weeks. Okay, so I need variables. I know I start with 20. I know I save 6. And then I need a variable for the number of weeks because I don't know, they didn't give me that number. So now my expression is going to be 20. Oh, so this kind of is this step right here. So my expression is going to be 20 plus 6W. Okay, so that's kind of a step-by-step showing you how to do it. What you'll see me do and see some of your classmates do a lot of times is just go straight from this to this, and that's the goal, is to be able to skip through all that. That was just showing you thinking. You don't have to write that down every time. All right, let's show you how to do that one more time. You had $150, but you're spending $2 every day. What algebraic expression models this situation? So you started with 150. If you spend money, you subtract it. So I'm going to say minus $2 times, let's say amount spent, since we're going slowly. So we'll say spent times days. Well, I start with 150. I spend 2, and I don't know the number of days, so I'm going to say D. So my expression is going to be 150 minus 2D. Okay? Next. Now let's talk about evaluating expressions. When you evaluate, what you're essentially doing is taking a number and you're replacing the variable with that number. And it's whatever variable they tell you to replace it with. So they're actually, by saying A equals -4, they're telling you to replace A with -4. And by saying B equals 5, they're telling you to replace B with 5. So for my expression, I'm going to replace every A with -4 and every B with 5. So it's going to be 7 times -4 plus 4 plus 3b, oops, not b, because I'm supposed to replace that. So 3 times 5 minus 8. And then, of course, you have to follow the order of operations. So you do what's inside parentheses first, and that's luckily going to turn to 0. I always like when parts of my expressions turn to 0 because 0 is an easy number to work with. Okay, and then I've got 3 times 5 minus 8. Now I do multiplication from left to right, so that's going to be 0, and that's going to be 15 minus 8. And then in the end, I'm going to get 7, because 15 minus 8 is 7. Okay, B, I'm going to rewrite this because I don't like fractions written this way. That's going to be x over 2 plus y squared. And they're going to tell me that every time I see an x, I need to put 1, and everywhere I see a y, I need to put 1/2. So that's going to be 1 over 2 plus 1/2 squared. Well, that's 1/2, because I can't do anything with that. And then I always do exponents before I do addition, so I'm going to do 1/2 squared, which is 1/4. And then 1/2 plus 1/4. If you think of a pizza and you have a half a pizza plus a fourth of a pizza, how much of a pizza do you have? You have 3/4 of the pizza. And that's your final answer. Alright. In the last football game, the team made 3 touchdowns, 2 extra point kicks, and 4 field goals. How many points did the team score? So, 3 touchdowns is going to be 3 times 6 points. 2 extra point kicks is going to be 2 times, what's an extra point kick? 1 point, duh, extra point. So 1. And 4 field goals is going to be 3 points. 3, right? I don't know much about football. I'm pretty sure that's right. So 4 field goals is going to be 4 times 3. So I'm just going to do the order of operations. 3 times 6 is 18, 2 times 1 is 2, and 4 times 3 is 12. And that's going to be 30 plus 2 is 32. So they scored 32 points. Okay, so now we're going to simplify. And when we simplify, that's different than evaluating. Simplifying, we're not replacing the variable with anything. We're just making our big, long expression kind of more simple. So when you simplify algebraic expressions, you can only combine like terms. Those are those words right now there, and you're going to hear that a lot. And by combine like terms, I mean that you can only combine terms that have this exact same variable. So x and x can go together, and x squared can go together, but x cannot go with x squared. So I've got 7x squared minus 4x squared. I'm going to rewrite them so they're together, since they match. And then 3y plus 3y squared plus 2y squared. And then I write them together because they match. So now I combine these and combine those, and I get 3x squared plus 5y squared. Now I do not combine those and get 8x squared y squared because they're not like terms. So that's all I'm going to do. That's finished. Alright, B. First thing I need to do is distribute, because I can't do anything until I get this stuff out of parentheses. So I'm going to distribute the negative across the first one and the 2 across the second one, and I get negative 3k minus m plus 2k minus 8m. Now this step where I rewrote them so that they were all together is not necessary, and you can go ahead and combine like terms without rewriting it. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. Negative 3k plus 2k is negative 1k. And negative m minus 8m is negative 9m. So I get negative 1k minus 9m. And you don't necessarily have to put the 1 in front of the variable, but sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Last example that I'm going to do for you. Negative 4j squared minus 7k plus 5j plus j squared. So matching terms, I only have 2. Negative 4j squared plus j squared. So we'll go ahead and combine those, and don't forget there's a 1 in front of that. So I get negative 3j squared. And then, if you'll look, these two don't match. So instead of combining them, all I can do is rewrite them. Alright, and then B, again I have to distribute because I can't do anything until I get it out of parentheses. So that's going to give me negative 8a minus 3b plus 20a minus 50b. Once I have that, I just combine any like terms that I have. I've got two a's, so I'm going to do negative 8a plus 20a and get 12a. Then I'll do negative 3b minus 50b, negative 3b minus 50b, and I'll get negative 53b. Okay, and your turn to show your work and show me if you know how to do this. I do grade on accuracy, so you do have to get right answers. And if you don't show your work, you won't get any credit at all, even if you do have the right answer. I'm warning you now, so don't come in crying to me when you have a 0 for your homework grade. So the first thing I want you to do is write an algebraic expression that models each word phrase. So I'm going to ask you to take the sentence that I'm giving you, and I want you to write it in numbers, variables, and symbols. And then for the second group, I want you to evaluate it, so I want you to plug x equals 3 in for x and y equals negative 2 in for y. So it's not that hard. Go ahead and do it. You've got this.